This is the Digital Marketing Experts Podcast episode. No, why am I trying to sound like a radio announcer?
Experts in the Wire, episode 58. Roberto Blake. Hey everyone, welcome to episode 58 of Experts on the Wire. This is an interview that almost just didn't even happen. It was recorded on January 5th, 2017. I'm now doing this intro on March 2nd or 3rd or something, 2017. 2 months later, it happened. Roberto and I were going to schedule this interview ahead of time. We had trouble coordinating our schedules, and I messaged him one day and I said, "Hey, are you available tonight?" And he got back to me and he said, "How about in an hour?" And I was at home, but I thought ahead. I brought my equipment with me to my house, and I said, "Great, let's hop on an hour." And we just hopped on Skype and did it. I didn't have all my notes together, but I really wanted to chat with Roberto about YouTube. For those of you that don't know, YouTube's importance in just the web, in the presence of the internet, cannot be understated. Some of you might have heard stories lately of people like these really famous YouTubers, PewDiePie. He made headlines when the Wall Street Journal did a big story on him. So people like Casey Neistat, that is very well known for his vlog, and then he stopped, and now he's working at CNN. And there's just this immense power that YouTube seems to have over the internet. It's the second biggest search engine. People are getting thousands or millions of views on their videos on YouTube. So it's super important. I've been fascinated with YouTube, and people like Brian Dean Backlinko, who's been on this show twice before, not many times, twice. He is going all in on YouTube SEO in 2017. I encourage you to check out his stuff. I will link to it. And this show is super fascinating. Roberto told me some monetization strategies, some ranking factors in YouTube that just blew my mind. I hadn't heard them before. So definitely stick around and check all of it out. Now, with this said, there's one little caveat I need to mention. Since I was recording this at home, there were some issues with Skype. I have cleaned them all up. So even in spots where Roberto's voice cut out for a second or two, I have gone back in and filled in the gaps to clearly say what he was articulating. So all of that's filled in, and you'll be able to listen to the whole thing, no problem. So with that said, let's jump right into episode 58 with Roberto Blake. I love how that almost rhymes. And let's hit play on that. But first, can you give us a little context and background on yourself?
Absolutely. So I am a creative entrepreneur and an online educator. Most of your audience and people probably know me more than anything for my growing YouTube channel, which is centered around creative education. Over 180,000 subscribers covering different topics, careers in design, freelancing, photography, video production, social media, and a lot of people also happen to be a fan of my Friday around YouTube tips and advice. Yeah,
that's awesome. I noticed that your subscriber count is really getting up there, and I've kind of been paying attention to your stuff on YouTube now for maybe about a year. But also, some of your most popular videos, even one you did a month ago, has 258,000 views. The one about the Microsoft Surface Studio hands-on review. So let's use this as a springboard. I want to talk a little bit about your YouTube channel and then kind of segue this into YouTube SEO and the growth of that. But talk to us about how, if somebody's out there looking to use YouTube to get more exposure, to get more subscribers, to get more views, how can they think about growth on YouTube? Let's start there.
Growth, or what we call in the business side, KPIs, key performance indicators, that comes down to your actual individual goals. There is a YouTube culture, though, that judges everything off of views, subscriber counts, and view to subscriber ratios, which from a practical standpoint, I've always felt is utter nonsense. And I don't say that defensively because, like you said, there's a video that I did even a month ago that got
250,000 views.
That's not necessarily my norm. The thing that I get beat up by young YouTubers or small growing YouTubers when I talk about YouTube stuff is, well, Roberto, you have like almost 200,000 subscribers. Why do you have videos that only have like 2,000 views? You're buying subs, bro? Which it's like, it's a goofy thing because in my particular case, my YouTube channel is different. Most YouTubers want the views and they want the vanity because the audience in YouTube, the culture in YouTube is very young. I jokingly call myself old man YouTube, right? Because I'm 32. I like only started like seriously messing with the platform in July of 2013, right? So I'm hitting at this for like 4 years, taking it seriously. And I say taking it seriously, meaning doing weekly content. Like everyone screws around with YouTube, but if you're only uploading twice every 2 years, you're not a YouTuber yet. You're not doing anything. So I don't count when I made my account to comment on other people's stuff. I count from when I made a commitment, because until you make a commitment to something, Dan, you know you can't claim anything. You can't call yourself anything. You're not doing anything serious if you're not showing up.
Yeah.
You know, that's very real to me. I believe in doing the work, right? So when you look at a channel like mine, or like my friend Sonny Leonarduzzi, or you look at somebody even like Tim Schmoyer, we're the public library, whereas your average YouTuber is the weekend movie matinee. You know, they're your like blockbuster weekend.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're trying to get as many views as possible in 24, 48 hours because of SEO and the YouTube algorithm and the ranking stuff, and because they want that sweet, sweet YouTube ad revenue. Me and the biz people of YouTube, me and people like Sonny and Amy Schmittauer and Mark Fidelman and Tim Schmoyer, and even Gary Vaynerchuk and Evan Carmichael, the way we utilize YouTube is we're using YouTube to build our public profile and to market our legitimate businesses. All of us own legitimate businesses and we have LLCs. We're also public speakers who get thousands of dollars to speak at conferences and get flown out all around the country or all around the world for that. A few of us have books. I don't. So there's a very different goal in, one, how we make YouTube practical and make it something that generates revenue for us, and how we build like 6-figure, and in like Gary's case, his he doesn't actually monetize his YouTube channel so much as he uses it to raise his public profile to be like a 7-figure public speaker, you know, somebody who gets $100,000 per engagement. So he has like a 7-figure speaking career in addition to the 8- and 9-figure businesses he's built. You know, so you have that. Me and Sonny have built 6-figure businesses. Amy's built a 6-figure business. So, I mean, even my friend Owen Hemsath, he has less than, I think, 20,000 subscribers. He has a 6-figure business. Yeah. There's a lot of people that think that there is a success that's tied directly to your view count or your subscriber count or the ratio. Yeah. But that's not necessarily true. There are YouTubers with 500,000 subscribers that, quote unquote, try to make their living off YouTube that are still working part-time as baristas. Gabby Dunn wrote an article about this and about the perils of being internet famous, and about a lot of employees from BuzzFeed or even former BuzzFeed employees that have these great personal brands. They have 250,000, 500,000, 1 million YouTube subscribers, and they can't pay rent off of YouTube. Of course, they're 20-something kids living in LA.
Yeah. I think that's a great context to put things into, because most of my listeners are more on the business side of things. They're doing SEO, they're doing marketing, maybe they're in-house, maybe they're freelance. And that's the one thing I want to point out that's unique about your channel, actually, that I like, is that you're super successful doing business content, doing content, teaching people about technology and how to grow their brand and everything. So that's number one I wanted to point out and why I wanted to interview you. But number two is you publish so much content. How do you do that? Do you have a process for, do you publish like a video every day? It seems like, what's your process for getting out so much stuff?
I roughly publish a video every day. The exceptions are sometimes it's rough when I travel or when I just finished traveling, or if I have a ton of client stuff. Like right now I have 5 active consulting clients that I do 60 to 90 minute calls with, unless we go over right now. And I'm in the middle of pitching 3 bigger projects with corporate clients. Yeah. And then I also have a beta program of a private paid mentoring group right now where I have 20 mentees. So I've got a lot on my plate, and you have to remember, I'm still mostly a one-man band right now, aside from a little bit of subcontracting that I do to freelancing specialists, like people like James Sewell, who's putting together an audio intro for a new YouTube show that I'm getting ready to launch. Or like when I hire people like Bernard Fields to do motion graphics or something like that. But mostly 95% of not only the YouTube channel, but the business, I actually do completely on my own. Now I'm getting ready to hire some more part-time people to help with that. The process behind how I can put out either 7 videos a week or a video every day, or even sometimes 10 videos in a week, comes down to the fact that I'm doing a couple of interesting things that work for you if you're a business person or an educator. Number one, I'm doing my content cold, meaning I'm doing the things that I know in and out. In the same way I don't have a script for this interview, I don't use a script for my videos. At best, I would have a list or bullet points on my phone that I look at for 5 seconds beforehand, say, oh, okay, this will keep me on track, this will keep me from rambling, and then I just go. If I need to do a 5-minute video, it's 7 minutes on camera. If I know that I'm shooting, okay, it's like Thursday, let me shoot some content for Mondays, and let me do that for the rest of the month. I'll just sit in front of the camera for 45 minutes, shoot 5 videos, and then Mondays for an entire month are in the can. If someone wanted to be a weekly YouTuber, if I was only doing 1 video a week, I could do my entire YouTube work in maybe 4 or 5 hours of the month, and my YouTube channel would be done for the month if I was only putting out 1 video a week. Right. That's how streamlined my process is. I spend a maximum of maybe 20 minutes editing almost anything, unless it's a very, very long video. And, you know, I know YouTubers that to do it will spend 2 or 3 hours editing, but I think the difference partly was I got really fast at editing because I've been doing it half my life. Yeah. But I also, for the last couple of years, have been in Adobe Premiere Pro almost every single day for the last couple of years. You want to talk about thousands of hours, you want to talk about focus, you want to talk about consistency. If you want to get good at something, do it all day, every day. Yeah. That's how I learned YouTube, like the nitty gritties under the hood of YouTube, because a lot of people just put their content up and that's it. I studied YouTube. And before that, I was a web designer and a marketing manager in corporate America. I studied Google. I mastered how to get to the top of Google rankings. YouTube is comparatively easy compared. And so it wasn't rocket science for me to reverse engineer those things. So that's what my process looks like, is that I film in bulk, I edit in bulk, and then I try to schedule, publish, distribute. And in the rare exception that I can't do that, if I wanted to get something out today that I haven't filmed in advance, I would turn on the camera, film for up to 10 minutes, stop, film again for up to 10 minutes, and then edit 2 videos. And I'd be done in an hour, and 2 days worth of quote unquote work are done. That set me up. And that's all it really takes. I don't like, a lot of people ask me, Roberto, are you a full-time YouTuber? And I'm like, no. They're like, do you make a living off of YouTube? I'm like, I make somebody's living off of YouTube. I spend less than 30 hours a month to do 30 to 40 videos for YouTube. 30 hours a month, and that's it. And I'm a one-man band. When I start outsourcing, when I decide to like be nuts like Gary Vaynerchuk, and decide to like start putting out 2 videos a day, that's gonna be me working with this great, wonderful young blogger fair, Chris Perillo's event, Zoe Wolf, and I'm gonna be working with this other great kid that I met at Adobe, Max Rohan. I'm gonna be working with them and giving them supplemental content to edit for my channel, which means it's like I'll do this day in and day out doing the bonus material, and then I'll be going to 2-a-days at some point here in 2017. I can make that practical though.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. So one quick other context piece before we shift to the YouTube SEO stuff. You mentioned 5 figures, 6 figures types of income on YouTube. What are the monetization sources? Just real quick, just to put that into context so people don't think we're only talking about AdSense, and then let's jump to the SEO stuff.
Oh yeah, like screw AdSense. I mean, AdSense is don't get me wrong. Yeah. It's not insignificant, but it's one of those things to where it's like, aside from the simple fact that it wouldn't be practical, I keep debating. And here's the thing: sometimes I won't turn on ads on believe it or not. A lot of people are really surprised by that. And sometimes if I do a sponsored video, I turn off ads for the first 30 days, at least the pre-roll ads, and just only do the display ads.
Right.
For me, I use YouTube, like I said, like many of my friends, to market my my business, which means that when I do a one-on-one, and this isn't even a corporate client, this is like a one-on-one actual in a brand and a business that they want to develop, doing one-on-one coaching with someone, doing a package that's a $1,500 a month package. You see when things like AdSense revenue, when it's like, gee, the work that I'm doing for this one client, you get 2 of those. That's somebody's salary in corporate America right then and there to just deal with 2 clients, right? Okay, so that's a thing. So for me, selling high level services, selling a signature package deal in terms of consulting, that matters. Using the channel as leverage for brands that want to work with me to get like a $1,000 per month or per engagement corporate client, or even a $5,000 corporate client, that matters. Okay, so you have that set up. Public speaking and appearances, being able to go, okay, I'm going to speak at your event, and I'm also going to do Q&A, and I'm going to make myself available to you and your brand and business that's behind this event to do up to 90 minutes of consulting directly for you. I throw that into the event coordinators, into the businesses that I do events for. I upsell, like, it's not upsell, it's a value add, I should say.
Yeah.
I offer them like, free consulting, and they can either take it for themselves or for the business, for the company. So they either for their personal brand, they can be selfish, or they could, you hear that, event marketers? It's like you can get free consulting, or they can get it for the conference or for the business behind the conference. So when you have that kind of deal on table, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 speaking gig, and you get to travel and you get your expenses covered, that's substantial. For the people who don't have a business or want to be a public speaker or be a consultant, the other model would be that I tell YouTubers that if you are a consistent YouTuber, even if you don't have a big following, what you can do is you can sell yourself as a video editor. I ended up hiring Zoe, and I'm actually then also advocating and pitching Zoe to some of my clients that need an affordable video editor, because my rates are considerably higher because of reasons. But if you were a smaller YouTuber and you only have a few hundred or a few thousand subscribers, well, you have a real skill though. You have 50, 100 pieces of proof that you can edit video. That's skilled labor. That's not an easy thing to do. You can sit there less than an hour of video editing and still be able to rake in $30-$50 for less than an hour of work just to edit somebody's videos. You could do, like, my video, like a 10 to 15 minute edit. You could get, like, you could throw me 100, knock out 4 or 5 of these for you. For me, that's like, well, if that's Mondays, that's like a second video out every Monday. If I throw you 100, like 150 bucks to do 4 or 5 videos for me, like, okay, if you do 300 for 10, again, we're talking about simple edits with my videos. We're talking about jump cuts, drop in my color grading preset, drop in my lower third, and call it a day.
Yeah.
You could make serious bank if you're doing someone for simple YouTube videos or 3-minute YouTube videos or something like that, or someone's vlog. Based on the equivalent of an hourly rate, there's almost no kind of entry level corporate America job you could make that kind of money for your time in. So you could go to other YouTube or to small businesses, like, again, not necessarily like a brick and mortar business, but maybe or a small local brick and make these kind of deals, and all of a sudden you're making side money to do something you love that doesn't take away from what you might want to do as a YouTuber as well, and you'll get faster and better at editing. That only helps you. You'll get the money to subsidize your camera equipment. So I would tell YouTubers that are starting that they can edit, and then when you get bigger, if you're smart about YouTube data, you can sell yourself as a consultant. Right. You can sell training. You can start working with these corporate clients. And, there are plenty of big YouTubers who do this. People like Matt Pat from Game Theory, because he's a data nerd. His whole YouTube channel is using science to explain video games. He's a huge data nerd, right? So, he's raking it in for corporate client in terms of corporate clients. So those opportunities exist. Besides AdSense, a lot of YouTubers, they'll go to, I'll make t-shirts, I'll make merch. The margins on that suck. You're getting like $2 or $3 per sale. Please do what Tim Schmoyer does. If you in a subject matter, write a book, or if you have an interesting book, sell a book for $20, $30, keep 70 to 90% of the margin on that, sell 100 units a month and rake in a couple grand.
Yeah, I think, and sorry, my Skype cut out there for a second. And you also tweeted earlier today that you thought people are underestimating affiliate marketing in YouTube. So does affiliate marketing and maybe even product promotions play into the monetization as well?
You know, here's what I'm going to say. It's like, I don't like to talk about like money or how much money I make, because like I love like Pat Flynn and do their income reports. I love that because I think there's a lesson. I think there's a lesson in that. And I think that the way they do it is very tasteful.
Yes, I agree.
I personally just don't know what something like that would even look like for me, and then how comfortable I am with it, just because it's like, I think that there's a certain level of just like, haters are going to hate. And so it's like one of those things I don't like inviting. But what I will say to prove the point of affiliate marketing, though, is, you know, because I won't talk about sponsor deals because, one, there's NDAs, and then I won't talk about certain other things because there's still things that are confusing about YouTube's terms of service. But I can tell you stuff like Amazon. For me, I don't even push tech stuff hard in my channel. I do it very subtly and very minimally. And on average, I do 1,500 or more a month in Amazon affiliate marketing alone. I advocate
the TubeBuddy plugin
because I believe in Phil. I met him at Social Media Marketing World last year. He's a great guy. I love the team. The tool is a great productivity tool for me, even beyond YouTube SEO. And I've been able, in advocating for a tool that I use every day, to prove that even if you are, I mean, look, remember the video you talked about with where I did a
250,000 views
because of the Microsoft Surface hands-on review.
Yeah.
Like big YouTubers like Detroit Borg and The Verge and people with like 1 million and 2 million subscribers. I did a third of the views of these channels that are literally 10 times bigger than mine. And I'm also ranked right next to them. That really just shows you the power of relevancy and optimizing your videos and giving them a fighting chance, because how the hell can someone like me compete with a 2 million subscribed YouTube channel and get a half or a third of the views on the same content? Right? If I can do that, then if you're a small YouTuber, you can compete with the likes of me at 100,000 to almost 200,000. So, you know, I just want to give that context. So by advocating for that tool, the best month I've ever done with affiliate marketing with TubeBuddy was 2,000 on that tool. And this is something to give you context. This is a tool that has a starting price point of like $9.99 a month.
Right.
Okay. And the obviously there are levels that go up and everything like that. But if you think about like, okay, this starts at 9 and I made $2,000 in affiliate marketing, boy, am I moving a lot of units.
That's high volume.
Yeah. And so I do that. Even with Amazon, I did like 1,500 in my affiliate revenue, but Amazon's gross like per year from me is almost like $500,000 what they net. I'm moving a lot of volume for them. I move like laptops and camera gear. I move almost 400 units for Amazon, and that's not even my product. And Amazon's margins based on my volume, Amazon's margin starts at 4%, so you only get 4% of whatever you sell, but it's volume based, so I can go up to 8%. But they set a cap on laptops, meaning that if I was getting more of a percentage or the percentage I deserve on the laptops, I'd be making a killing, because I still get the same $25 on selling a $2,000 MacBook as I do on selling a $600 Asus laptop. It's the same for me.
All right.
It sounds almost unfair, but it's, again, to give you context. Now, keep in mind what I said about Tim Schmoyer and like his $30 ebook on 30 days to grow a better YouTube channel, which I highly recommend you guys pick up. No, Tim is not paying me for the plug here, but think about that. He's got ebook that if you buy it in Amazon, he keeps 70% of the margin on that. If you buy it directly for him, he keeps about 95%.
Right.
Let's take into context that the 400 conversions that I might do on Amazon, the majority of my audience isn't even converting. The majority of the clicks aren't even converting. I have only about a 2.2% conversion rate. And then, you know that that's in marketing and sales. We know that makes me a hero, but YouTubers may not understand that coming from, not coming from corporate. Right. But let's think about that. If I were selling a product that mattered to the majority of my audience, even at $30, I'd make a killing. Right. Because if I moved 200 units, which is half of what I sell for Amazon stuff. And again, the Amazon stuff, not everyone in my audience can afford it. Not everyone in my audience needs that stuff. But if I sold them something that all of them need, like personal branding, I think everybody needs that. If I sold something on personal branding that was a $30 thing, I would, like, even if I only did 200 units, that's $6,000.
Right.
Like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's not a small amount of, and that's one product. So imagine that if you're a YouTuber and you build yourself a little product empire where you have like maybe three $30 products and maybe 2 or 3 $100 plus products of some kind based on whatever your skills are, whether it's a course, whether it's a high level info product, whether it's a digital download, whether it's templates, whether it's a music bundle, if you know, or a motion graphics bundle or something, if you did something of value that you could do for that, you could easily turn YouTube without AdSense into a 6-figure business based on product sales. But if you can't make products, you can go to affiliate marketing. Dan, one thing I haven't done yet that I'm planning to do with this other thing that I have, this other project I call Awesome Creator Academy, which also encompasses this like private exclusive membership group that right now is invite only until I decide whether we go public out of beta or not, or whether we keep it a private invite only group. It's a private mentoring thing. It's very, it's very small. I like keeping the circle on it tight. But the other thing that I want to do that will be public, which will take a few months, I'm building it out, is I'm doing these nice, like little high level $200 courses. And this isn't like a sales pitch because, again, the products don't exist yet. But here's where I'm going with that. Not only will I do very well on that, I needed to do it because I needed to create a vehicle for the people who watch me to be able to make revenue on their own, regardless of what their situation is, if they believe in what I'm doing or have benefited from it. Meaning that if I'm selling a $200 course on personal branding, I decided to open up the affiliate program. What percentage do you think I'm offering on the affiliate program?
Maybe 30.
Yeah, good call. Good guess. Yeah, it's exactly that.
Yeah.
The plan right now, unless things change for whatever reason, I had to talk myself out of offering 50%. I had to talk myself off. I had to talk myself down from that ledge because the pragmatic business mind looking at the bank account took over at that point.
Right. Yeah.
Bean counter Roberto had to take over.
Yeah.
But the reason it's like I want to do that is, there are some things that I might make even more accessible or cheaper as we go forward. But the thing is, one, I believe in the value of the content that I'm doing and giving a structured course that will make sense for people and help them really accomplish what their goals are. And I've proven that I can do that time and time again. And I wanted to offer something that would be of value to them if they can't be a one-on-one coaching client with me, that they could do at their own pace and measure progress and be successful and have action items. Because the problem with my YouTube channel or any YouTube channel like mine or Tim's or Sunny's is you have like 500, 1,000 videos. It's hard to get lost in the weeds. It's literally walking into the public library and being overwhelmed by all the books.
Yeah.
I needed to create a classroom for people. But like I said, the other important facet of this was me. I had to charge enough so that followers and fans and friends and advocates of mine could make substantial real money by just promoting a product and a person they believe in.
Right.
Because if you think about it, if you follow me and you can't make a product on your own for whatever reason, or you're not there yet, or you don't have something that you think is a high enough value, but you know that I have the lever, that's going to get bought by somebody anyway. If you're the gateway, you've got your $60 in that single transaction. Someone could do 2 transactions selling my product and make more than they would at a 9-to-5 job all day. And I needed that to be true, and I needed to create a vehicle for that. So I decided that that's what was going to make me be successful in an info product and really believe in it, was because if I was only in it for myself, it'd be very challenging for me because that's boring to me.
Yeah.
But by knowing that, wait, if I do this, then somebody somewhere that's following me that might not have a way to make $120 a day just yet has a very easy and practical way to do it, and that they can like feel okay with and comfortable with because they trust me or they trust my credibility or I've helped them, then I think that matters. That's important. So
I love that.
I think that, I think that those kind of things are smart.
It's a real true win-win-win across the board. And I really like that concept. So let's get to YouTube SEO and then the SoundCloud stuff. So you posted a live stream a couple weeks ago, and I think that's the main topic that got you on my radar for my podcast. Talk to us a little bit about from the beginning, YouTube SEO. I know you talked about some new algorithm updates, but some of the listeners might be a little familiar with maybe getting the right tags and titles and descriptions. But let's get into some more of the juicy stuff. Like, I know you talked a little bit about the view time, maybe making your channel related to the, other channel. Like, talk to us a little bit about what are the things people should be doing to capitalize on SEO with YouTube.
So what people have to understand is that
if YouTube is going to promote and rank a video,
yes, it wants a video that gets a ton of views and a ton of watch time, especially in the first 24 to 48 hours, right? But how is YouTube going to promote that? YouTube has only a
limited space
that they can distribute and promote a video, right? The YouTube homepage, if someone's not subscribed, because I know everyone whines about, well, why am I not seeing the videos that I'm subscribed to? Well, no one would ever find new videos or new content or new YouTubers if that. So if you're a YouTuber, you can't be mad about the homepage. You have to learn to work with it because it's the only way you or anyone else is going to get discovered. It's the only way you're going to grow and get new viewership. So first of all, we have to not romanticize it and say my subs should get my videos. They do, but they have to click a tab over, and most people are lazy. So how do you get on someone's YouTube homepage? The YouTube homepage is a viewer. If you're me, it means that because I'm watching like Star Wars and Rogue One stuff, that's what's flooding my YouTube homepage right now. So I'm finding all kinds of new Star Wars reviewers and people doing Star Wars parodies and things like that, because that was like the
most recent things he watched.
So it's going off of user behavior. So the reason that I can see these new Star Wars reviewers and I can see is because I'm watching my friend Prince from Urban Acolytes. So when I'm watching his videos, it's saying, hey, Roberto, Dash over at Dash Star Wars and Stupendous Wave and all of these guys, like, who is Rey's father, or Rey's a Kenobi, or Rey's a Skywalker theory. You might want to watch that because the last two videos you watched were about that. And how does it know that? Well, the titles of the videos that I just watched, the descriptions of the videos I just watched, the tags of the videos I just is going through all of the videos in YouTube land and saying, well, whose channel and whose videos are most like what Roberto was just watching about this Star Wars. Also looking at the YouTube channel and looking at the tags at the channel level, because people don't realize you go in the advanced settings, you can label
the tags
for your YouTube channel. People put goofy stuff in their about section thinking they're being cute and using the first couple of lines for emojis and crap like that instead of being descriptive and giving us real context about the channel about. So YouTube can give me all of those things. Now, with the way that the biggest YouTuber, PewDiePie, kind of in my live stream, I pointed this out, and it wasn't to call him out or to hate on him. I think Felix is a good person, but he's been successful off of things that used to work and that don't work anymore. And he changed his content, and then he whines about the way that his views play out and that he's getting less than 4% viewership to his subscriber ratio. And he wonders why that happens. It's like, well, when you have a clickbait title, but when it's time for YouTube to try to serve that up to other people, it has no context. It has no way. If I watch Netflix and I watch Scandal, it knows that I might like to watch House of Cards or The Blacklist or Orphan Black, because there are things that it can take out of the description.
He's basically saying here that Netflix uses semantic relationships between the actors and the categories of the movies and TV shows to create a relationship and an understanding of what the episode's about, so then they can surface those and rank them for you, customized to what you watch.
Watching him, how the hell are you supposed to find his stuff unless you watch another YouTuber that did a news video about PewDiePie? That's the only way he's going to show up in your YouTube homepage if you're not already subscribed to him or you didn't just watch some, because there's no other way for YouTube to promote his video. It has no context to say what other channels are
related.
No way to do that, not as a robot or not as a human being.
Even if somebody shares the video in social media,
I'm looking at the description to decide whether or not it's worth my time. The only way I end up watching it is if I fall for the click thumbnail. But if I'm looking, what's this 5 minutes of my life going to be? Beyond that, if I wasn't sold on the title and the thumbnail, it's dead to me.
Yeah, so let me just reframe that for some of the listeners. A lot of them are very savvy SEO people, but not totally as familiar with the YouTube stuff. So what you're saying, this very popular YouTuber PewDiePie, he was relying on YouTube's prior algorithm to expose himself, and
which was based on virality, right?
Right,
which was based on virality.
Yeah, and so, but now what's happened is they've adjusted the algo, and he doesn't put any SEO, and now he's wondering why he's not getting as much views. So essentially, what you're saying is you need to leverage the tactics and techniques for SEO in YouTube to get the views beyond just the happenstance discovery of somebody knowing about you already.
Well, it is the second largest search engine in the world, owned by the first largest search engine in the world.
Yeah.
It's the second largest trafficked website, owned by the first largest traffic. It has a big old search bar at the very beginning of the web page when you get there. I would think that matters.
Yeah. So, in terms of what are the best ways to get discovered in YouTube? Let's talk about that. Obviously, I know there's search, there's related views, but what's really the best ways people should be thinking about getting themselves discovered, and how can they make that happen?
Well, in the context of business, you have to have what me and Tim Schmoyer refer to as a discoverability strategy. You have to actually have a discoverability strategy, meaning that you have to understand the intention of the person that you want to come across your content. So in the context of business, your content strategy should align to discoverability and search by solving or need or a topic that is frequently searched. So you need to do some research and analyze and use things like I do, like TubeBuddy or the Google AdWords keyword planner, to determine, well, what has a decent amount of search volume and has average to low competition, or something that has high competition. Am I authoritative enough in it? And can I market and distribute this enough initially to overcome competition if it has high competition? So you have to think about that contextually.
So let me just pause right there. I'm going to do a little bit of interrupting in this section, because I can anticipate what the listeners are going to want to know off of this stuff. So how do you have a way of getting search volume for YouTube, or are you making a relative guess from what you can get from Google search volume?
You can actually find out about YouTube search volume using either TubeBuddy or vidIQ, and it can give you, but I would say that you have more context if you don't rely solely on that and you use the Google AdWords keyword planner, because you're not just learning about Google search in general, you're also learning about it in the context of buying behavior against advertising.
Right.
Which means that if you're a business person, that substance of how's the buying market thinking rather than just the general market, that really actually matters, at least in my opinion.
That's a good point.
Opinion.
How do you then assess, you mentioned the competition or the opportunity perhaps in a YouTube search result. So this is something that
it tells you.
So this is something I can do in my sleep in google.com, right? Like I can tell you if we can rank for something in google.com pretty much 9 times out of 10. How can somebody in YouTube, say I want to do a post keyword research, right, in YouTube, and I want to rank a video that's about keyword research. How can I assess what's ranking there to see what the competition, how do I know if it's possible for me to rank?
All right, so here's the first thing you need to do. You need to use my affiliate link and go to tubebuddy.com/awesome. You need to go ahead and buy browser plugin for YouTube. Then you can use the Explore tab, and then you can type in any keyword or phrase. Once you do that, the Explore tab will tell you what the search volume and competition that video. It'll show you the top results for those videos and what channels have it and how authoritative they are. It'll give you recommended alternatives for that particular use to kind of decide, oh, this would be a good title, that would be a good title, and now here's 3 lines of organic wording that I could use in a paragraph that utilizes maybe 2 or 3 of these really good keywords for me. Here are 1 or 2 paragraphs I can write in the body that do that again, so that I have keyword density, just like in the Google days when you're writing a blog post. And then, okay, I will take those phrases, the things that people are going to type into the search bar, not, oh, I'll type in this one word or I'll just type in these 2 compound words. No, the full phrase that people are going to type into the search bar, use that as your tags, and then boom, that's how you'll be able to do it and know and determine. You could use vidIQ to do something similar. I feel that TubeBuddy is a little bit more robust of a plugin between the two, especially for the price that you pay on price difference. And so that's my recommendation. Alternatively, you could do this similar stuff with the Google AdWords keyword planner, but will have less context than TubeBuddy.
Yeah, and you said this is a $9.99 plugin, right? TubeBuddy?
Yeah, like it's $10 for the basic level. I think maybe a higher tier if you're a bit the something that I think is closer to like $33 a month or something like that for the higher tier, either the Star or the Legend plan. Mm-hmm. But it's worthwhile from both a research standpoint for just the keyword tool. Mm-hmm. But what I would say contextually is that it's not just a keyword tool. It's a productivity tool because you have one button pushes to distribute your content in Facebook as well, natively, which means a direct Facebook upload instead of just a link. So that's a one push thing. That saves time. You could also schedule those things. You also have a schedule override for YouTube, which could be great if you needed to release content back to back at a certain time, like 4 p.m. every single day, based on your target market. If you find out that that's good, it actually can tell you based on your data in your dashboard what the best day to upload is for you. So I use TubeBuddy not just for the SEO component. I use it for the productivity and the data analysis features, the competition research features as well, and for the bulk editing options, so that I can do bulk editing, meaning that I could do a find replace. If I need to change my link to make a better tracking link for something to track conversions, I could do a bulk replace and replace that link across all my videos if I had to.
Oh, wow.
So from a productivity standpoint, if you want bulk editing features, you have to go to the Star or Legend plan. And just on the productivity features alone, based on what your hourly rate is, I'd say like you can't not spend $30 or $50 a month, based on the fact that if you're a business person or a marketer, you know your minimal hourly time is somewhere between $50 and $100 an hour anyway. Like you can pay that a month to save yourself hours of time.
Yeah. So in addition to, the titles, the tags, that kind of thing, I've heard of some of these other things and I want to clear them up if they're myths or maybe add some ones that are more important. So I've heard things like using a transcript or maybe having a good custom thumbnail or maybe creating playlists topically. What are some of these more maybe advanced SEO things we should consider for YouTube?
Let me go to the thumbnails because of my background in advertising and as a designer.
Sure.
Think of thumbnails in the context that you would think of billboards. So don't be lazy, because if you needed somebody driving down the highway at 60 miles an hour to see something and feel enough of a way about it to get home or at the rest stop, make a buying decision, or if they were going to walk around and with all the distractions in Times Square, this thing might make them buy or take an action. You need to think of a thumbnail in YouTube in the exact same context when competing for attention. So a thumbnail is a billboard, So that's number one as far as getting people to click.
And what kind of element should go in the thumbnail? I mean, obviously, like I know intuitively, but give us some tangible things like it should be clear image overlay, or like what are some maybe techniques for making a thumbnail?
Using a human face with a very enthusiastic or any type of emotion, any type of high level emotion and a human face is going to usually get clicked.
That's a really good point. I noticed Casey Neistat does a really good job at that.
Exactly. So that I think has value, and we resonate with people. There's a know, like, and trust factor. And so I would say that that's very important. Understand that depending on where this shows up, the size might shrink. So start thinking about that in terms of proportions. Get very strategic about how you handle text or whether you use text or not. And understand that that has a value. And in terms of colors, branded stuff is good as long as it doesn't look like it's always potentially the same thing. Even I've had hiccups with that when I went to a template-based strategy of effective thumbnails and branding. I have to now, for 2017, I'm adjusting my templates so that I can differentiate them from 2016. So I'm almost thinking of it in the context of seasons, if you will, right?
Yeah.
Like I would for packaging for a TV show. Season 4 has to have its theme versus season 5 and so on and so forth. So that could be very important. Consistency. And the other thing I would say is the primary and tertiary colors work very well. Understand that YouTube has a completely minimalist white interface. So powerful high contrast colors and sharp images are going to really stand out and encourage someone to click in that situation.
Yeah, it's a really good point. So is watch time as important as everyone says it is? Is this something we should be focusing on? And if so, how can we improve that?
Watch time is disproportionately one of the most important factors, if not the most important factor of YouTube overall, both from a video authority standpoint, but also from a channel authority standpoint. YouTube promotes channels, but it uses videos as a performance indicator as to which channels it should promote. So you have to think about that at a micro and a macro level, is that a lot of people worry and obsess over their individual videos, but I look at the channel watch time as a whole because I know better. I know that it's channel authority because it's Google. Remember website domain authority. Remember that. And then remember that you use the performance of individual videos and overall cumulative time on site as individual pages and cumulative time on site to add up to domain authority and website authority. So the whole is the sum of its parts. That's how you translate Google data and nerd stuff into YouTube. You just walk it backwards. And now, because it's video, you should think that, oh, well, it's easier to wrap my head around that because clearly with the context of video, time is money. That makes sense. The investment emotionally of how much time you spent, of course.
Yeah,
that's raw time, not even retention rate, raw time.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about the nitty gritty of that. So if I have a 20-minute video and somebody watches 5 minutes of it, that's just as good as if I have a 5-minute video and they watch 5 minutes of it?
It's just as good as if they watch you have a 5-minute video and they watch 4 minutes of it.
Yeah.
Them watching. Let me put it to you like this. Let me put it this way. Would you rather have 20% of $100 or 100% of $10?
Oh man, I hate these and I love these. Say it one more time.
Would you rather have 20% of $100 or 100% of $10?
Oh man. Well, I'd rather have more money, so that's the 20% of $100, right? If I'm doing my math quick enough.
Yeah, because then that's $20.
Yeah. So, but there's no trick. There's no, right? Because that's obvious to me. I want the more money, right? You're not tricking me there.
Yeah, that's the right answer. 11%. Look, would you rather have 100% of $10 or 11% of $100?
Right. Yeah, I get it now. 11% of $100.
Yeah. $1 more is $1 more. A minute more is a minute more. It's like, it's literally quite that simple.
Yeah.
It's literally quite that simple. So more is more.
So it's the raw minutes of the video watched.
Yes, but it's not just that. TubeFilter and Matt Gillen did a really great article. He's a much bigger data nerd than me, but he talks about is it just raw minutes? It's also how long did your video or your channel keep someone on the YouTube platform? Meaning that if I did a playlist, you want to talk about playlist strategy?
Yeah, I've heard about this. Yeah, go ahead.
Like if I was a YouTuber, if I'm a new YouTuber, one of the things I might do is I might do a top 10 video on a topic, but then I might put that in a playlist, and then I might just round up a whole bunch of other people's videos and put that in a playlist and give them some love, right? But if my video is the gateway, then give authority for session time to me because I was the start.
Interesting. So I've always wondered about this theory because I've heard about keeping people on your channel. Do you have a sense for, is that
not just, no, wait, not just your channel? Yes, you can do that with playlist. Even if you're just a bloody DJ, but your video and your channel was the gateway drug to keeping someone on YouTube for 2 hours. Like when I did the YouTube is broken video, I did a playlist of everybody who was complaining about the YouTube algorithm, but I set their videos to all be after my video. Right.
So it's time on YouTube in general, but I've always wondered about, is that the actual behavior of users? Will they sit there and watch a whole playlist of 20 videos?
It depends on the user.
Yeah.
On the playlist. Primary example, if I do a Monday video, I literally do what's my playlist for creative, and I do a video. I talk to graphic designers, and I sit there and I show off my own collection. I talk about the music that I listen to, and then I tell them that there's a link in the description or right here in the annotation for a playlist of like my top jams when I'm working. Them to sit there and they doing their work and jam out for an hour.
Oh, that is smart.
That's a strategy. Yeah. It's a matter of, will people do that? It's like, well, can you make it worth their while?
Right.
Can you make it worth their while?
Yeah.
Invested and everything like that. If you do a playlist that's designed to help someone with their actual work. Do you realize, all right, you know what's a channel? Because I'm going to let you in on a secret about one my company, Create Awesome Media, is looking at doing over the next 3 years. Is like we're going to Shark Tank YouTube channels and internet properties, not just YouTube, Instagram, all of it, live streaming. We're coming for everything. I'm going to Shark Tank deals. I'm going to either start new IPs and then hire hosts, or I'm going to acquire and buy out other people's channels that are small YouTubers.
Yeah.
And then really help them with mentorship. But I'm going to take not just ad revenue money and do equity deals, but I'm also going to bring sponsors to the table that I have relationships with, but then take a lion's share of profit there. But, they couldn't subsidize their thing. And I bring up that point to say this. The reason I bring that up is because, watch this. So what if you're a YouTube channel that's designed for students and you literally are a study guide, work through your problem style videos and everything like that? That means that literally the study guide that's prepping this person for the SAT and 2 hours on that.
Right. So you're leveraging the playlist thing to your advantage by creating something natively for that exact feature.
Bingo. And that's what matters.
So did we cover everything we should about YouTube SEO? I think the listeners, what they're really going to want to know, and you've given them some amazing stuff so far, is just these nice takeaways of things they can actionably do. So, beyond the tagging, beyond the playlist, beyond the featured thumbnail, is there anything else really that they should be considering when they're publishing videos and promoting their channel to try to get more views, more subscribers?
Well, there you have to set a specific success goal. You have to decide it was designed to get views, or whether this video was designed to get subscribers. Was it designed to get people who watch it to sign up to your email list? Was this video designed to get somebody to be a client and write you a $10,000 check? Was this video designed to get you $5,000 speaking engagement? Was this video designed to sell your book so that you make $30 a transaction? Was this video designed to jump your affiliate marketing sales so that you can, make $300 selling camera gear and laptops a week? Like, is that what this video is designed to do? So, because it can't necessarily do them all. Was this thing specifically to make people fall in love with you so they click that subscribe button? You have to have a very specific and behind your content strategy. I don't think you can settle for doing one video a week, because you can't hit enough of your goals, of the balance of goals that you have to have, because you should be doing all those things. If you're going to do YouTube content, especially in the context of business, you should be using it and using video as leverage to grow your email video that's designed to grow my email list. Within 48 hours to a week, I can use that video and I can get either 500 new people on my email list. The most I've gotten is 1,000 new people on my email list. If I was only doing one video a week and I had to balance all my priorities, only do email list video subscribe.
I think he's basically saying here, if you are going to pick one goal to focus on and you have a minimum amount of videos, to grow your email list, because thus that can help you grow your business. Sorry, Roberto, the Skype was cutting out, but I think that's what he
grow the email
was saying.
list, because that's where we can sell and convert very well, right? We have to have subscribers because we have to have more viewership and a bit of social proof to show that we're an authority in our business and our industry. So we need that subscriber count a little bit. We need a little bit of that vanity number to level of expertise and legitimacy and social proof, because that's important today. But we also need the views, whether that viewership translates to all the other things we want or to ad revenue. So we need that. Views translate to conversions. If no one's watching, no one can buy. So you have to have all of your priorities. Then you have to come up with a content mix, just like you would do a marketing mix in traditional business. You have to do a marketing mix for your YouTube channel, and you have to literally decide what content is mapped and aligned to what goals, set a schedule for it, set all your tracking metrics in place, and you have to do that. And then in the first 48 hours, you have to hit the hell out of it. You have to distribute it, because YouTube is using the first 48 hours to determine its performance and evaluation, so it can decide whether or not this should be promoted and distributed more based on the content who's watching videos related to it or not. Yeah. And that's called view velocity. And you have to market and promote it in addition to whatever YouTube is doing for you. You can't just put it off on YouTube. That's leaving your content for dead. You have to be tweeting. You have to be messaging people in Facebook. You have to be sharing in groups. You have to be, if you're in Reddit, or you have to send it to your email list. You have to do whatever it takes in that 48 hours to get as many eyeballs and as much watch time as you can to really help your video out and make sure that's going to stand the test of time. So, and get more promotion and more traction. So you have to help it out.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I want to pause on that just for 1 second, because I have the sense that many of my listeners, like I mentioned, they're very savvy SEOs, but possibly not as experienced with YouTube stuff. So they probably don't have many subscribers. They're probably not getting many views just by happenstance. So, for example, we were tweeting with this guy, Ryan, who was asking about how to get himself more, how to better optimize his videos. For somebody like him, and I checked out his channel, he gets maybe a small handful of views at the moment and has 5 subscribers. I'll subscribe to you, Ryan. So you have 6. I'll hit your subscribe button right now. What could somebody like... Yep.
How many people following Ryan in Twitter?
He has... I have his Twitter right here. He has 1,401 Twitter followers.
And his feed, is he distributing his YouTube videos in his feed?
Let's check out Ryan's feed here. Let's see. I'm going back 24 hours, 48 hours. I'm not seeing many YouTube. Well, I see one here.
Is it his, or is he sharing someone else's?
Let's see. This one is his. It's from 2 or 3 days ago. I don't know how often he's sharing these, but it looks like a little bit.
If you had to go back 2 or 3 days, then that sounds problematic to me. If you had to go back 2 or 3 days, go take a quick peek at my timeline.
Yeah, I have your timeline right here. Yeah, well, I follow you so you're sharing, I would say, and I'm not going to look. I think you share probably minimally 2 to 3 videos a day on Twitter, maybe a little more.
I share a video roughly every hour on Twitter, and it's not always even the latest video. I share a video almost every single hour on Twitter, and I also use hashtags.
Right, on Twitter, yeah. So beyond Twitter, because I know attention is kind of dying these days on Twitter to some extent. It's harder to get traction there. What else could Ryan do?
We could have literally a whole nother podcast episode about that and about how like Twitter really works if people want to know how to work it and to get attention. Because I know there's a fire hose problem. How many back and forths have we had? I'm crushing it there, and there's a reason for that. And that's not a hashtag modest brag. It's just that for everybody, just like how PewDiePie was complaining about YouTube algorithm and YouTube dying and all the changes and everything like that, like there's an answer for all of it. There's literally an answer for all of it.
Well, I think somebody like you do better on YouTube because you're building your brand. I mean, you do better on Twitter because you're building your brand outside of Twitter. And I see this with all the bigger influencers. People are interested in you or Casey or Gary or somebody. So they're going to pay attention to you on Twitter because you're doing something interesting elsewhere. So that to me is one of the problems, I think, which people view Twitter in this vacuum, but it really should be viewed as like your entire personal brand. And that's an access point for people.
Exactly. That's what it is for me. It's like anyone can ask me anything on Twitter. Anyone wants me to pay attention to something and wants me to see it and maybe even talk about it potentially in a future video. Someone wants to show me artwork that means that they might be someone I interview down the road on like Twitter is how you would do that. It's a gateway to me. And it's a gateway even to my community in terms of me giving somebody exposure. It's more likely that I'll easily retweet somebody's stuff or even make a Twitter video about somebody's stuff and shout it out there that I would dedicate a YouTube video or even 5 seconds of a YouTube video to giving them a shout out. Right. And the thing is, to be honest, they'd get more out of me promoting them in Twitter based on the people, the qualified, because again, think about it, like the people who follow me in Twitter, you have CEOs of agencies. You have almost all the Adobe profiles following me. You have a lot of the large photographers out there following me. Like, so I have a lot of people in the creative and art and marketing and business and creative business brands and the brands that I've worked with following me giving you some play there and being on and like me vouching for you there, infinitely more valuable than some of the randos watching my YouTube videos. You know, people who are in the same boat as you, I could put you in front of people in Twitter that actually might hire you or write you a check versus my YouTube audience that might be there for one reason or another or in the same learning boat as you. So what I would say is that people have to develop their brand beyond YouTube, and that the way you do that is, I mean, if you don't have a following Twitter, get involved and engaged in the community that you want to reach by talking to them and being part of Twitter chats and conversations. No one likes to do Twitter videos. We used to love YouTube video responses, and it's the feature everyone cries over and wants back. But we have that in Twitter right now. Yep. I just complimented, like last year, I complimented Chase Jarvis on an interview he did with Gary Vaynerchuk. And he said, oh my God, no one's ever sent me a Twitter video. And he sent me one back and said, thank you. And like, so boom. So then I was like, talking with Chase Jarvis, and now sometimes we tweet at each other. And that's a relationship that I generated out of thin air.
Yeah.
Because for all the people who follow Chase Jarvis, no one put themselves in front of a camera to say hi to him and to say, hey, you did an awesome job and I learned something from you, and just thank you for everything you do at Creative Live, right? So you want to build an audience in Twitter to be able to leverage authority to have permission to distribute your YouTube videos there. Actually participate in a community or build a community in Twitter, and you do it from the ground up like anything else. Yeah, but again, we're talking about someone who has 1,000 followers in Twitter that isn't siphoning from Twitter to YouTube and only gets 5 views as a result of that.
Right.
And you could always be participating in Facebook groups and communities of like-minded individuals, and either you become an admin or you start a group or you get permission and you can share and distribute there. You also can use native SEO by building a website or a blog, and then whoever's looking for that type of content can find your article that has your video embedded in it. So you can do that. You can go and you can find publications and volunteer to be a guest writer and post, because they don't have I guarantee you, they probably don't have a guest writer or guest poster that also does video content, and video content is sticky and will drive up their organic SEO, because all of a sudden someone's spending 3 or 5 minutes of average time on site for Google, which is unheard of because it's like 1 minute and 20 seconds now.
Yeah.
So, because no one reads. So, I mean, really, this, like, again, and I say it snarkily because, like, it's not rocket science. It's right there. Not to mention that I'm being a little snarky because I've literally probably said this in 30 videos by now.
Yeah. Well, I'll link to all of your videos that are relevant to the interview in the show notes as well. And I agree entirely with all that. One thing I still do to this day is the whole Gary V's classic answering people's questions in Twitter just randomly, right? So I have a bunch of Twitter searches saved. And when I'm standing in line or when I'm bored or whenever, I just go in and I answer a bunch of questions. I've got a lot of followers that way, a lot of kind of traction in Twitter. So it's still possible.
Absolutely. I do exactly the same thing. And people actually, a few people message me and complain to me about my Twitter list, and I DM them back. It's like, I can take you off. It's just, I use this Twitter list and I use this automation specifically, who I'm going to interact with in Twitter and who I'm going to reply to and whose questions I'm going to help with. But I take you off the list. And then, like, usually they're like, oh, well, no, that makes sense. And okay. And thank you. And wow, I didn't expect you to actually message me back. That makes sense. Like, but some people don't want to be on lists. And again, I've had to go back and forth and debate whether or not automating a Twitter list to aggregate people who use the phrase like hashtag YouTube problems or hashtag design problems, hashtag marketing fail. I use these Twitter list aggregates so that when I'm in line at the bank or something like that, or in line at the movie theater like you, I can sit there and I can go and randomly make somebody's day by answering their question, because with the fire hose problem in Twitter, how else would I do it?
Yeah, that's a really good tip, by the way. I don't have a problem with that at all. So actually, that's something I might do. Is I noticed you actually did that to me. I think you have a list. Maybe people mentioned me or something, and it added me to that list. And that's not annoying because you're not messaging somebody. You're just adding them to a list for later, and with the intention of helping them. So I don't see that as a problem at all. Yep. All right. I want to shift to SoundCloud and Google.
All right. I just want to interject right here and say that Roberto and I actually chatted for another 20 or 30 minutes about a potential SoundCloud acquisition by Google. That there was this rumor that had surfaced on the day that he and I recorded our show. And it was something that he talked about at length in a Periscope he did the night before. And it's super interesting, but there were some more Skype issues in that section. I'm going to still use that section, but I'm going to post it, of course, you guessed it, on SoundCloud. So if you don't know, we actually have a SoundCloud page. I haven't used it much, but it's just soundcloud.com/experts on the wire, I think. I'll link to it in the show notes. And if you go there, I'm going to post the excerpt of the discussion where we chat about SoundCloud. I'm going to wait I want a few people to request that. So hit me up on Twitter, Dan_SHURE. I want to get a few requests to show that you would like to hear that part of the discussion. It's really interesting. And so if I get a couple requests, I'll definitely post it up on SoundCloud. With that, though, we're going to close out with Roberto telling us where we can find him online.
We're going to wrap things up in a second. Tell us again where we can find you online, where you want to direct people, and I want to encourage everyone to go check out Roberto. Your content's amazing, your stuff's amazing. So tell us where to go.
So if you guys want to any of my creative educational content on YouTube, whether you want to grow a YouTube channel or you want to be a creative entrepreneur, or you just need help solving a creative problem or you need a tutorial, you go check out YouTube.com/Roberto Blake 2, just like the number 2. And you can find over almost 900 videos of content right now that will help you create awesome things and share them with the world. If you want to ask me really quick questions, you can always tweet at me at Roberto Blake. If you want to show me some of your creative work, you can hit me up on Instagram at Roberto Blake as well. And if you want to do business, hit up robertoblake.com.
That's awesome. Roberto, thank you so much for joining us on Experts in the Wire. This was a really fascinating discussion. Thank you.
Absolutely, Dan. My pleasure. So thank you so much for having me. Glad to come back anytime.
Awesome. Thank you.